Good evening. I'm Alice Redetti, and I am this evening with Adam Chacksfield, that is a spiritual teacher of non-dual awareness. Thank you, Adam, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting this invitation. I would very much like to do this interview because I would like to bring people nearer to your teaching. So when we speak about you, we talk about non-dual awareness. But how would you define your teaching?
Yeah, so non-dual awareness is sort of a word for that which is experiencing everything. So it's not an experience itself. It's that which is everything is arising and everything is passing. So non-dual teaching typically points us to this space, and it gives priority to the direct experience. So meeting the direct what's actually here, rather than the stories we tell about what's here, the names we've given to reality, the interpretations we put on top of it. So the invitation is always to meet a direct experience, what's here, before we interpret it, before we make sense of it.
Yes, it is similar to what we learn about being in the present, about your experience.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Okay. I observe when you teach, I observed that you never interfere with the experience people are doing that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know, how does your support fit in if you don't interfere?
Yeah, I mean, typically the challenges that people experience and so much of the suffering we experience is where people are attacking their own experience. So they're invalidating the experience they're actually having. They're saying, this shouldn't be happening. What's wrong with me that I'm having this experience? So what I'm doing when I'm sitting with someone is I'm inviting them into openness, curiosity, to turn towards what they're experiencing with love and understanding, rather than criticism and condemnation. So this is it's like undoing the filter of shame that so many people have, where we're looking at our experience as if it's not the right one. And this is completely inventive, this filter, completely inventive. We're never having the wrong experience. So when we meet it just as it is, like in open awareness, or what we might call loving awareness, it completely transforms our experience of being here, because it removes this shame filter that so many of us are operating under. And it's really powerful when we can be with someone who's with us without that shame filter. So when I'm sitting with people, I'm not looking at them through judgment or any idea of how they should be experiencing this moment. I'm just inviting them into intimacy with what they're actually experiencing.
Yeah, this is very interesting, because the experience of suffering, of judging ourselves, even with an experience of suffering, is very, very strong, and long time, for many years. So this is a very interesting approach, I find.
Yeah, and it's so debilitating for people when you know, when we are imagining that what we're experiencing is wrong. And it also cuts us off. So often we think like, what's wrong with me? I'm uniquely broken. You know, we think our suffering is like, is so unacceptable. And we don't allow company there typically. We don't think we can have loving company there. So what I'm doing with people is I'm actually showing up as loving company. It's like we don't have to be separate and feel alone in any of the challenges we're facing. You know, we can have that loving company.
Yeah, this is a strong experience because, in my experience, it is sometimes it's difficult to see this thinking judgment, or I shouldn't feel this or I shouldn't feel that. So, in my experience with your teaching, the first thing that arrives it's love, it's welcoming.
Yeah.
It's open the space to deeper experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and it feels to me like the love is so important there because you know, we typically, like, we don't see the filter of shame. We just think it's obviously wrong. Like, it's so automatic, it's so quick that the judgment comes in and condemns what we're experiencing. So love really is so powerful in undoing that. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you can be loving to this? You can meet this with love? I mean, it's so radical. And yet it's so natural. It's like when we actually meet what's really here, it's like, of course it's lovable. It's innocent. It's just innocent life unfolding.
Yeah, this
totally valid.
This is total new experience. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since I have known you, it is clear that you really live what you teach, and that's why this teaching is so powerful. But how have you reached that? It was not in one day, maybe, or yes, or how it was your experience?
Yeah, it's very much a journey, and the way I would say that it happens, this journey, is it's really the undoing of the conditioning, the undoing of the shame. So it's not that we have to find some special experience, we have to sort of find enlightenment or find awakening. It's like we are awakeness, we are alive. We're already perfect the way that we're unfolding. But we imagine that there's something wrong going on. You know, it's like the interpretation we have of ourselves is totally false. All the ways we identify are so limited, so inadequate. So it's really this coming back to the wholeness that we are. And it's such a you know, there are these beautiful openings where things fall away. And it's like, you know, now I'm awake, or now I'm here. Now I'm like, you know, we can feel like the atmosphere gets lighter. And the layers, there are so many layers to fall away. So it's just this journey of allowing that falling away, that falling open, falling into naturalness, into wholeness.
Yeah. Because I think there is still a big misunderstanding about enlightenment. It is something people are looking for, so they put an objective in the future instead of in the present.
Yeah.
And when I will be enlightened, all the problems will be solved, etc., etc. But it's difficult at the same time in the first step to hear, you are already perfect. How can people approach to this?
Yeah. Yeah, when we hear sort of a word or phrase like "you are already perfect," it's to see that this is also a meaning that's added. So so it's like we don't need to hold any position on what is really happening here. It's like awareness has no agenda towards us. It's like when awareness touches what's here, when we're intimate with our experience, it's just yum. It's just good. It's like but it's not that there's an interpretation happening. It's not that, oh, like now I know what I am perfect, or I am enlightened. It's not that we're holding any image of what we are, any identification. It's like we're just here as we are, and we're not making a problem out of it. It's just natural, simple.
So does your approach change with every person, or it is the same teaching, the same light? I don't know to explain. I hope you have understood.
I mean, it's always sort of this trusting the field, trusting truth, trusting intimacy, trusting the movement of love. So that's the same. But the way that it unfolds with anybody in any particular moment is always so unique. So it's not that I'm bringing, I've got some philosophy that you all need to understand, and I'm going to tell you about that. It's so not that. That's not what I'm doing at all. In a way, there's nothing to teach. There's nothing to share. But it's like, but as we sit together, we're like, oh, what's happening here? And we turn towards that aliveness with love, with curiosity, with a willingness to be closer to what's really here. And that's so it's always a completely unique journey. It's I'm not trying to get anyone to have a particular experience. It's really an invitation for us to be so intimate with the truth that's here, with the truth of our experience.
Very, very nice, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, really lovely being with you here, sharing with you.
Thank you, and hope there will be other occasions for these short meetings and interviews. Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for listening to this. Thank you. Good evening.